a good win, and Tejeda had been clearly sharper than that leading up. Didn't have it, couldn't make the adjustment. So it was important that Noah went out. That's, you think about these things, but you usually don't think about it before you've thrown a strike. And for him to get the spike, the big right-handed hitter, has been tough. He's been a tough out. He's a physical kid. He was on the ball to right center field. So to get that punch out and kind of hold that, I think they scored 2 runs. That could have gotten away from us a little bit. So it was good to see Noah. The more he's been out there, you've started to see a little bit of what we hope we can get, and I think he's finding it now. I thought Lauk threw the ball pretty well. We wanted to use certain guys as maybe to get out of a jam and then turn it over to some of the younger guys with cleaner opportunities to start innings if we could do it. Army, it was good to see him back out there again, and his outings will continue to lengthen. We were not going to let him throw much more than you saw today. That was it. And Lauk was okay. Saucer, the climbing fastball, showed signs of what we see. It just is hard to barrel, and he can throw in the top of the zone or he can get it down. It's a tough fastball for people to figure out. The slider was better the longer he was out there. Abraham, good changeup to get the punch out, nice little slider. I think still those younger guys, they're just settling in to learn what this feels like and the adrenaline and handling all the things that happen when this is actually a real game and it counts. They'll keep getting better, and they're going to have to help us. The offense, their starting pitcher had good stuff, but clearly didn't quite have it either. It was good to see Max start off the game with a base hit, and the at-bats. Whether the stuff is in the zone or not, you still have to have the discipline and the ability to take some tough pitches, and we did that, and we were able to kind of grab the momentum and the lead there in the first, and that continued the whole game. I was pleased with the at-bats. We had some good at-bats off the bench. There's guys that deserve to be playing, and it's hard, and I wish we could have separated a little more or made it feel it was a little more out of reach earlier. We knew we were a little bit limited in the bullpen. We did not want to use Dorsey, so we kind of held serve with what was going on. And then the guys later in the game got in there, and Triple had a good at-bat, and Fisher had a good at-bat, and Duncan, good base running play, and Riley Jackson handled himself behind the plate. He's a very good blocker, and you saw it when Holtz was in there. So, we did what we needed to do today. It wasn't as clean as you would hope on the mound, but at the end of the day, we took care of the Sunday game.
I've seen Tibbs do what he does so much, it's kind of like just expected at this point. It's still pretty special.
No, it's just elite bat skill, and that's the second Grand Slam, correct? Like those moments to have just the gamesmanship and let the game come to you a little bit and not try to do too much early in the count. He's got that skill. Like he's got the hitability skill, and he's stronger. We do these talks in the weight room here after the games, and the hours and days that these guys spend in here, like it adds up, and you're seeing a group of people that are more physical than they were when they got here, and that's part of the development. And you see it with him, and you see other guys on the team that can drive balls to all fields. But the Grand Slam was a moment that kind of kicked it in a little bit, and then the home run he had later was probably actually hit better, and clearly added to the lead. But I thought he played good in right field, and that just is another piece of his game. I think as he settled, we had to move him around so much last year that I think if we can settle with him out there, it just eases him a little bit and just lets him get more comfortable. And he's been on it this weekend.
I think y'all have scored now in the first inning in 5 of the first 6 games. I know that's probably not a sustainable pace, but what can that do just for settling everyone in, getting that fast start?
Well, our coaches put together video and scouting report and the data, so you have more going into the starting pitcher, clearly, because it's hard to watch video of the relievers as they come in. You're not going to do that. But Brad and Ty put together the correct information, so when you walk out there to have your first at bat, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to get. It may not be exact. Some of the video and the angles may not equate to what you see in game, but it's pretty close. And you have a lot of data that we can grab now. So I think that's a tribute clearly to the guys that are involved in the game, but also I feel like they're prepared coming out of the locker room to go have those first at-bats. And if you're not, the chances of you having a consistent string of success early in the game probably diminishes.
Drew Furrow had another multi-hit game. I think he's at 538 now batting average. What's it been like just watching that sophomore come in and hit like the way he has?
It's fun. You know, we saw flashes of it in fall and preseason, but his at-bats in the games have been really good from both sides of the plate. I think he's handled some fastballs. I think he's also handled some decent secondary pitches. You guys may have more access to the in-game broadcast and where some of the pitches are, but he's handled a lot of different things from both sides of the plate. And he's athletic, and when he gets going, he can run. So that's been awesome, and it's great. And the length of the lineup, wherever we put he or Cantu or really anyone, there's some length in the lineup, and I think it's probably tough to be on the other side of that, navigating pitching to that group.
4 sacrificed flies today. I think it's been a pretty common theme with this team to make productive outs. Just how important are those productive outs to make an offense complete?
Huge. You know, the momentum grabs when you have a runner on third, less than 2 outs. You need to plate that. You can look at the situational stats at the end of the year. Really good teams do it at 70, 72% of the time. 75 is probably elite. But when you're not doing it at that clip, you know, and those runs and those outs exchange, it's a momentum swing for the other team because it doesn't take a hit necessarily to score those runs. So you need to score them. We've done a pretty good job of that. Putting the ball in play with 2 strikes is a big key to that. Now on the other side of it, like when you're navigating it from the mound, if you can shrink those moments and get some key punch outs, it's just such a drastic sway in the tempo and rhythm of the game.
Drew, you know, to be a football player, multi-sport guy, like, is there something to the makeup of that, like in terms of just the competitive spirit?
Yeah, he's a very thoughtful athlete. Like, he works very hard at it. He has a routine that he likes to follow. Like, he's very engaged in what he's doing, and he is a tough kid. Like, he's physically tough, and I don't think he's played much second base. I felt like the last week or so of the preseason, he seemed comfortable when we moved him over there, and you know, he's a worker. He likes to work, and it's fun to see somebody that works at it go out there and have like in-game success. He's doing exactly that.
I'm sure y'all probably may not have totally decided yet. Do you have an idea at this point if you're keeping Connor where he's been or trying to get him back in the weekend?
I need to think that through with Mike. There's a lot to digest from what we just did, and you're kind of looking, like you said, at a longer span of this.
Yeah.
Whether, hey, do you start on Tuesday? It starts to change wholeheartedly, like for a couple weeks, based on what you do. So we need to make sure we're doing the right thing by him and for the team. And it was nice not to have to use Dorsey today. There were moments where I thought that was lurking. He was available for an inning. So we do have those guys if needed Tuesday. I just have to sort out what I think is best for the longer picture here.
Kind of thinking big picture, you guys were 6-0 last year, didn't have the finish you guys were hoping for, I'm sure. 6-0 again this year. What's the mindset, what's the message, I guess, to the guys to make sure this start is more sustainable than last year's?
Well, we have to stay healthy, obviously, and that was a big part of what happened. And we hope Diamez is not out for a sustained period of time here. I think he's going to be okay. The message is come out and play one good inning of baseball and make one good pitch at a time, and the rest takes care of itself. There's no, like, I couldn't have told you the record last year that it's about the game and one pitch at a time and one inning at a time, and the scoreboard and the rest of it, it takes care of itself. It's just coming out today and playing good, hard-nosed, solid baseball, taking advantage of the opportunity. When we give you an opportunity, go take advantage of it, and you just have to roll through it like a machine, and the scoreboard will reflect how well you do that. And then as you get deeper into the season, the record will also reflect how well you do that. And you have to stay healthy. Like, that's a key part of it, and it's also why, you know, Jamie Arnold and Dorsey and Whitaker, like, there are things we do throughout the course of this to try to maintain the health for the long haul. Some of it you can't control, but the stuff that we can, we try.
Awesome.